Wrong floor.
Shane Tamura, what is the purpose of this shooting? Shane Tamura is the shooter. That's his name. We have his ID. He was found with a note blaming the NFL for giving him CTE, but he never played in the NFL. He did play football, however. So is he just some crackpot? Is he some crazy person? Let's read. Crazed gunman who killed a New York City police officer and 3 other people in Midtown Skyscraper on Monday evening was carrying a note in his pocket that expressed grievances with the NFL and claimed he suffered CTE. That would be a brain injury linked to head trauma, sources told the Post. Shane Devon, he's 27. He cited the NFL in his writings, which were found after he was fatally shot. He shot himself in the chest on the 33rd floor of 345 Park Avenue, a swanky skyscraper that houses the National Football League's corporate headquarters. The mentally ill shooter wanted to shoot up the NFL's offices on levels 5 through 8, but he mistakenly went up the wrong elevator. Banks ended up on a higher floor, the mayor has confirmed. In his 3-page-long ramblings, Tamura blamed football for his apparent struggle and neurodegenerative disease, chronic trauma, and he pleaded for his brain to be studied in the wake of the massacre, law enforcement sources said. He also specifically referred to Terry Long, a former Pittsburgh Steelers player who was diagnosed with CTE after drowning antifreeze to kill himself 20 years ago. Terry Long, football gave me CTE and it caused me to drink a gallon of antifreeze, the note stated. This guy's like somewhat coherent. You can't go against the NFL. They'll squash you. Please study brain CTE. I'm sorry. The league knowingly concealed the dangers of our brains to maximize profits. They failed us. The NFL has offices, again, in this skyscraper. One of its employees are among those shot, though not fatally. So this is very peculiar. Mayor Adams confirmed Tamura's note alluded to having CTE and playing in the NFL. But there's no record of him ever playing in the NFL. There is a record of him playing football, however. It appears, though, he was going after employees of the NFL. We're still going through the suicide note, the exact reason. But at the time, it appears that something attached to his belief he experienced CTE in the NFL. The NFL has offices, again, in this building. Shortly after the shooting, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch directly called executives at Blackstone, another notable tenant in the skyscraper, to inform them that they weren't the intended targets. Although one of their executives has been killed here. You can see here this photo of them barricading the door. Quite shocking photo and horrifying. He also shot a 5th victim in the lobby of the building after the attack. Surviving victim appears to be an NFL employee. The league's commissioner, Roger Goodell, told staffers in a letter that one of their own had been seriously injured in the shooting. Tamura, who worked as a security guard at a Las Vegas casino, never professionally played football despite referencing CTE. He played high school football in California. He was described as a good and standout player. It looked like the sky was the limit, then it wasn't anymore, said a classmate. Tamura graduated from Golden Valley High. This is in California in 2016, ahead of his senior year. He told the Los Angeles Times that he expected big things to be a running back and other star players on the team. Again, here's an interview of Tamura when he was a younger man in 2016, approximately 9 years ago. Tamura is talking about a successful high school football game. Have a listen.
We're here with standout running back Shane Tamura from the Granada Hills football team. Big 35-31 victory against Kennedy tonight. The battle for Granada Hills. Shane, just talk about you guys getting that win tonight. How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, don't hold your heads down, don't hold your heads down. We just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane,
So there you go. I mean, this is clearly somebody who has some type of brain malfunction and snapped. His brain snapped. He said he was an NFL player? Do we know more about the actual letter? Let's listen to the mayor who's described the suicide note in an interview this morning. Here we go.
Tell us about the apparent suicide note that was in the shooter's pocket.
He alluded to having CTE from playing in the NFL. He never played in the NFL, and he alluded to the CTE being the reason for his illness. It appears as though he was going after the employees at the NFL. The building 345 housed the NFL's company there as well. But we're still going through the suicide note to zero in on the exact reason. But at this time, it appears as though something that is attached to his belief he experienced CTE from playing in the NFL.
And so
there are crazy people everywhere, man. You need to have good guys with guns. There was a security guard in the building, but I guess there needs to be more severe and swifter action, especially if you're in these positions. You have to stay forever vigilant. Mayor Adams confirmed that Shane Tamura went up the wrong elevator, that he was intending to go to the NFL headquarters and kill people. That was the goal here. Here we go.
And so it appears that this is an individual who drove all the way across the country from Las Vegas, believing he was suffering from this brain disorder known as CTE. He goes to this building where the NFL headquarters are located in some kind of revenge situation. He gets inside. He ends up on the 33rd floor. We know that the NFL offices are on a lower floor. Does it appear he got lost in the building? Was he trying to get there? Did he just go the wrong way? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, great question. There are two different elevator banks, and as you know, anyone that's in many of our corporate buildings, some banks don't go to every floor. He appeared to have gone to the wrong bank, and he ended up on the floor of Rooted Management. And you see on the videos that he discharged the weapon several times.
Well, this follows another sociopath who did a mass stabbing in Traverse City, Michigan. Not trying to connect what seems to be disconnected things, with the exception of, listen, in Traverse City, Michigan, some man who thought he was Jesus Christ, who lived inside of a insane hallucinogenic state. I played in the NFL. The NFL gave me CTE. The NFL is the source of all my problems. Bro, you never even played college football. But whatever, people live in these delusions. One, it's important to not affirm those delusions. It's you can't have a functional society without people living in reality. But then on top of that, it's very important to stay vigilant. What stopped more people from potentially dying, and you know who's in Walmart. There are children, there are old people in Walmart. In Traverse City, there was a hero with a firearm who held the mass stabber at bay. His name was Derek Perry. He was a former Marine. And that hero with a firearm prevented what could have been many, many more deaths. That follows a sociopath who also lived in some type of psychotic delusion that the Christian church was persecuting him. He went and shot up a church in Michigan, Flint, Michigan. This individual was trying to attack a vacation Bible school at a church in Flint, Michigan. He got run over by a deacon in his truck, and then he was sent to his maker. He was going to go, you thought the church was persecuting you. Wait, he was sent straight to Jesus for judgment by the security guard at the church, who didn't hesitate for a moment to discharge and use his weapon in the service of protecting the children inside of the church. Here we go. Michigan deacon thwarted attack on church by ramming his truck into the shooter. And then the Christian security guard discharged his firearm, ensuring that the threat to all of the Christian children was neutralized. You just got to stay vigilant. You have to use equal and opposite force or greater force. That's why the Second Amendment was written. Guns have been around for a very long time. Guns have been around for 500 years. Not new technology. And you have to make sure that if a bad guy has a gun, that a good guy has a gun and is able to use it in order to protect innocents. And so, unfortunately, in New York, this is a circumstance where no one was able to put down the shooter swiftly enough. But I guess the through point between all of these is that mental illness is real. Many, and I would agree with this from a spiritual perspective, would call it demonic possession. The nature of Satan is described pretty plainly in the Bible. Steal, kill, destroy. Steal, kill, destroy. Christ describes the nature of Satan to steal, kill, destroy. That's what's happening in all of these instances, destroying the lives of these little children, stealing the lives of people, literally physically killing them. You could argue that it's a spiritual battle, in fact, that we're fighting, but nonetheless, put down evil, make no peace with evil. And so stay forever vigilant, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump's statement on all of this. From Truth Social, I have been briefed on the tragic shooting that took place in Manhattan, a place that I know and that I love, and I trust the law enforcement agencies to get to the bottom of this. Crazed lunatic, correct framing there by the president, committed such a senseless act of violence, and my heart is with the families of the 4 people who were killed, including the New York City police officer and the ultimate sacrifice. Bless the New York City Police Department. Bless New York. Quite a different commentary than the commentary from New York's frontrunner for the next mayor. Meet Zoran Mandami, who said, hey, you know what? We need to defund the police. You want to create an incident like this every single weekday in every building in New York? Just take all the cops off the street. There are enough crazy people there. Just go wander the streets or ride the subway. One stop and you'll see so many loons and sociopaths in New York City. This is how you create this environment. We don't need investigation to know that the New York City Police Department is racist, anti-queer, and a majority threat to public safety. It's amazing, like when you see images like this and the shootings like this, that this is what Zoran Mandami claims is a threat to public safety, is not enough queer police officers. Okay. Zoran Mandami celebrated a police officer crying. I just saw a cop crying in his car. LMAO. Nature is healing, says Zoran Mandami. And Zoran Mandami, much like the shooter yesterday and CNN, wants to target whites. Look at this. Zoran Mandami doubles down on his plan to target white neighborhoods in higher taxes. And for those who are going to clip this segment, go ahead and check his website because he's the one saying it, dumbasses. But yeah, that's what he says. Rich white people are the greatest evil, and we're going to tax more white people. They're the problem in our society. Harmeet Dillon has told our show exclusively that she's not, of course, going to allow this, that this may well be in violation of the law. And we were actually able to ask President Trump about Zoran Mandami, and we're proud of that. Zoran Mandami got the old President Trump saying, we have to arrest him, maybe. Legendary clip. ALX, can you grab that real fast? Anyway, New York City gets, I suppose, what they vote for. A fascinating and wonderful quote from what I believe it to be one of the founding fathers or a great American thinker. I don't know who to attribute it to. That democracy is when the voters get exactly what they want and they get it good and hard. New York, is this what you want? Every single weekday, then elect Zoran Mandami. I mean, listen, you can just look through the guy's old tweets, old posts, and his policies to see that this is what happened.